Hello, do you love old typewriters and the style of vintage typewritten papers? In this tutorial I will show you a quick and easy way to create a vintage typewritten font effect in Photoshop. To complete this tutorial you need to download the free pack of textures from the written version of the tutorial. I am Ivan Gromov for Envato Tuts Plus. Let's get started by setting up a new document using Ctrl-N case combination. Set the document size to 1500 by 1000 pixels. Drag and drop the texture from the tutorial assets in the document. Then make those layers invisible. Hit T and create two text layers with any words you want to use. After it, add a mask to each layer. Select the text layer while holding Shift and press Ctrl G to create a group of the layers, then add a mask to this group as we did before. Now we need to create 4 duplicates of the group using right-click, Duplicate Layer. Select the mask of the first text layer and then left-click while holding Ctrl on the icon of the text layer. Go to Select, Modify, Contract, and use the following settings. Contract by 4 pixels. Use Shift-Ctrl-I case combination to invert the selection. Afterward, hit Shift F5 to fill the selection with the black color. Add the same mask effect to the second text layer and hit Ctrl D to deselect. Select the mask of the first layer and then go to Filter, Filter Gallery, Brush Strokes, Splatter, and use the following settings. Set radius 10, smoothness 15. After it, add the same filter to the mask of the second layer using Alt-Ctrl-F case combination. Put the ink texture inside the first group of the layers. Double-click on the ink texture in the Layers panel, then go to Color Overlay and use the white color. Now we need to add the selection to the mask of the second group layers as we did before. But this time we will use the following settings. Contract by 2 pixels. After that, select the mask of the text layer and go to Filter, Filter Gallery, Brush Strokes, Sprayed Strokes, and set the stroke length to 20, spray radius to 0, and the direction to horizontal. Then add the same effect to the second layer mask using Alt-Ctrl-F. Now let's go to the next group of the layers and add the masking effect to both text layers as we did before, but this time we don't need to use the contract function. Select the mask of the layer and then go to Filter, Distort, Displace, and use the following settings. Horizontal scale 4, vertical scale 4, displacement map, tile, undefined areas, repeat edge pixels. Hit the OK button and now you need to select the PSD file from the tutorial sets as a displacement map. Add the same effect to the second layer using Alt-Ctrl-F. Add the masking effect to the text layers in the fourth group with contract by 4 pixel setting. Select the mask of the text layer and go to Filter, Distortion, Ripple, and use the following settings: Amount 69, Size Medium. After that, select the mask of the second text layer and hit Alt-Ctrl-F to add the same filter. Select the mask of the first layer and then go to Filter Gallery, Sketch, Turn Edges, and use the following settings: Image Balance 40, Smoothness and Contrast 15. After that, add the same filter to the mask of the second layer using Alt-Ctrl-F. Now let's go to the last group of the layers and create a mask effect as we did before, using Contract by 4 pixels. Select the first mask and go to Filter Gallery, Brush Strokes, Splatter, and use the following settings: Spray Radius 10, Smoothness 15. After that, add the same filter to the mask of the second layer using Alt-Ctrl-F. Go to Filter Gallery, then select Texture, Craquelure, and set the crack spacing to 35, Depth to 10, and Brightness to 0. Use the same effect for the mask of the second layer. Now we need to make some elements invisible. Select the mask of the first group of the layers, then hit M, and select some words you would like to make visible. Hold Shift to make multiple selections. Hit Shift-Ctrl-I to invert the selection, and then Ctrl-I to invert the mask. Delete some parts of different group masks, as we just did before. Move the first group of the layers while holding Shift to about 10 pixels to the left. Change the opacity of the group to 90%. Create a duplicate of the overlay texture and move both layers above all the groups. Then change the blending mode of the first texture to hard light and the opacity to 52%. After that, change the blending mode of the second texture to multiply. Select the first overlay texture and hit Alt-Shift-Ctrl-B, then hit OK. Go to Image, Adjustments, Brightness Contrast, and set the brightness to -80 and contrast to 100. Now we need to put all the previous groups in a new group. And then right-click on the first texture and select Create Clipping Mask. Here's our final result. We have created an old typewriter font effect using a displacement map, textures, and smart filters. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check our channel for more tutorials.